have the pleasure of meeting Amanda Bienko for the first time. She's been in Frederick since 2019, and she is very, very talented. You may have seen her stuff already. She does some stickers and illustrations, and I love some of the ones you've created for Frederick in particular. Welcome, Amanda. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me.
I came across your work on social media and said, oh my gosh, I have to talk to you. I love that you have these Frederick centric, along with many other designs, but some Frederick centric designs for stickers. Let's back up a little bit though and tell me a little bit about how you got to Frederick and your career in art.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Maryland. I'm a Maryland girl, and I was originally an art teacher. And I was actually teaching, I taught in Maryland, but I was teaching overseas and at an international school. And my best
Wow.
friend had moved to Frederick for her job and her husband's job. And when I would come home from teaching overseas, I would come visit her. And I just fell in love with Frederick. I was like, this is the best place in Maryland.
Oh, I love it. We think so too, but that's great. So, what part of Maryland were you from originally?
Cecil County, and then I went to Towson
Okay, yeah.
University. So, I've lived in different places in Maryland, and but yeah, Frederick. I was like, when I came home, I was like, I'm moving here.
Well, we are so glad to welcome you with open arms and happy that you call Frederick home. So, you were teaching art. I love the fact you were teaching at an international school. That's fun. And then have you taught at all in schools here in Maryland?
Yes, my first teaching job was in Maryland. I taught at a high school in Prince George's County.
Okay.
And then I left to teach. I had an opportunity to teach at an international school in Morocco.
Woo!
Yeah, so I was like, well, obviously I have to do that. It's a great
Yes, of
opportunity.
course.
And then when that, you have like a contract, and when that was up, I came back, and
Nice.
I taught in Frederick County public schools for 3 years.
Okay. All right. Was that at the high school level as well?
That was actually elementary.
What do you prefer, elementary or high school?
That's difficult to say, but I think I would always go with elementary because they're so excited about everything.
So, when you were in high school, your art teacher kind of planted the seed that you could actually do this for a career or at least through adulthood somewhat. Is that right?
Oh yeah, that's what got me started. I was always creative, even as a child. But when I got in high school, that's when it kind of became serious because my high school art teacher kept instilling in me that you can be in these higher art classes like AP art and stuff like that. And yeah, she kind of just like really lit a fire under my butt, and that just kind of like got me on the trajectory, and pretty much it's been part of my identity ever since.
Yeah, and that's great. Good on the teacher for,
Yeah.
giving you that motivation and planting the seed and, really helping to cultivate your creativity. I think that that is phenomenal. And so, is there any particular medium you prefer or, kind of specialized in up to now?
Ooh, that's a loaded question for me. I'm kind of known for getting really into something and then doing it for a few years and then abandoning it.
Moving on.
But I will say drawing and illustration is something I always come back to. So now that I've, been doing art for more than half my life, I kind of feel like safe to say I'd say like, I'm an illustrator. I like to draw.
Yeah. I probably, when you keep coming back to something, whether it's just for practical reasons or creative outlets, that's a pretty good indicator that it's kind of amongst the top favorite. But I can understand you not really wanting to cement it out there. But
Yeah, it's hard because everything is interesting, but I will say that, like I said, I always go back to drawing, but all of the skills I've learned over the years, whether I taught them myself or I was formally taught in education at higher levels, I use all of it in
yeah.
in my business and in what I'm doing right now.
So when did you start selling your art like online? When did that happen?
When I came back from living overseas, I my best friend, she also lives in Frederick. She's a jewelry smith. She has her own business. She had been doing her business for a part time for a while, and I was kind of like inspired by that. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and try that. So it kind of just I started building it brick by brick back in 2019.
What is the biggest challenge with having your designs online that you've come across?
I mean, probably anybody who has a business can agree with this statement, but marketing is always
Mm.
super challenging because I do not have a brick and mortar store. You have to find ways to, push people to your website, or you have to try to find other ways, to get in stores, whether that's like a wholesale agreement that you have with a store or doing like pop ups downtown.
Yeah. Do you have you been able to secure some of those agreements?
Yeah, luckily I have.
Nice.
You can get different mixtures of my stickers, including the Frederick collection, in Rock and Roll Graveyard, Brick and Mortar, Rods and Dotties, and Smoke Signals on Market Street.
Okay, well, we might need to talk to you about an Everything Frederick line for the home of
Yeah,
our
that
Everything
sounds really
Frederick.
cool.
Yeah, we can do a Good Morning Frederick line, something fun, and the home of Everything Frederick. So we'll chat about that offline. But
Yeah, that sounds great.
and and for the marketing, I definitely have some ways I can help you. And I totally get like when you're creative, it's really tough sometimes to put that business hat on. Not that you're not successful at it, but it's just a different way of thinking about your own
Hmm.
work. And sometimes it's really tough to kind of put yourself out there like that. So 100% I understand. And I've got some tips that I can send along to you for that for sure.
Excellent.
Yeah. So now, do you do traditional illustration and do you combine that now with technology?
Yeah, so I originally started doing traditional means and mediums, pencils, colored pencils, markers on paper. And then I switched over to using my iPad, and I pretty much exclusively use my iPad now, using different design programs. I still use all of the traditional knowledge that I've learned over the years, but I'm just applying it in a digital way.
Yeah, I mean it's so great that I mean honestly, I'm a techie nerd. I'm not creative in that way at all. I can't draw. I'm so fascinated watching. I have a couple friends who are also artists that transition from traditional mediums to digital and just I'm so fascinated how now it's so much easier to take one piece of art and utilize it across so many different platforms or different ways because now you can resize and you can
Hmm.
duplicate and you can do so many other things that would have taken days in traditional means.
Oh
So,
yeah, and you can put it on different items, all
yeah.
sorts of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. You can take it from a print to a poster to
Hmm.
stickers and things like that. So, why stickers in particular?
Well, I was, making mostly prints and posters and having trouble moving them. So I thought, well, stickers are fun and I love stickers, so let's
Yeah.
just give this a try. And that kind of changed my business. Things like, selling and things were just so much easier. It helped me click with like online marketing more about how to market them, and that's just kind of like how I went down that road, and then it's turned into, not just my own like personal designs, but I do custom designs for people wedding favors. They have like stickers for their wedding favors. I do 'em for bands, businesses, so it's kind of just like evolved.
Yeah, I would say stickers are. I just, I feel like they never go out of style, but there's like this huge surgence of them recently, especially. I got my water bottle.
Yeah.
Like even, you got,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? Do you sign your illustrations on the stickers?
I do. So this is something that some people have told me that they don't like, but
Really?
Yeah, so people are like, I don't like it. I feel like it interferes with the art, with the sticker. But I always go back to, this is my artwork. Even though it's a sticker, it's still art. I
Yeah.
have changed to, instead, I mean, I always put it in a discrete location, but I've started recently changing it so that it's a shade or two darker, or a tone lighter than the coloring around it. So it doesn't stand out as much, but it's still there.
Yeah. Yeah, I love there's a couple artists I've talked to that hide, but it makes you want to find it. So I love that too. But yeah, 100%. You created the art, you want to make sure something of you is on there at all times because yeah, that's I mean it's you, which I really love.
Yeah.
Is there any design you've done that is just like, oh, I mean that you go back to it always and just say that is amazing?
Um, Most of them. I
I
say
love it.
every time I make one, I fall in love with it. I'm like, this is perfection. And then
That's great.
I'll make another one. I'm like, you know what? This is perfection too.
Oh, well, who wouldn't want that? That is awesome. That's great. Well, look, that is phenomenal. I love it. I can't wait to have some of your stickers. We're definitely going to chat about everything, Frederick, and good morning, Frederick, for sure. If there was one thing you wanted people of Frederick to know about your creations, what would that be?
Oh man, one thing. I would say that through my work, I just try to honor that the best way to be is your authentic self.
Yeah.
And that's where the treasure's at. And I feel like I try to like embody that in my work, and like then my customers can take that and like feel that for themselves as well.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much. That's great. And, you know, to know that when you buy your work, you're getting that little piece of you, which is awesome. All right, Amanda. Well, we want to thank you so much for your time today. Can't wait to see your stickers all over, Frederick. Not anywhere they're
Yay!
not supposed to be, of course, but
Of course, of course.
everywhere you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.